Bullies filmed a deaf black girl crying outside a restaurant, and when the video reached Jake Thunder Morrison, they had no idea they had just attracted the wrong kind of attention. "Look at her crying like a baby," laughed Brandon Mitchell, holding his cell phone close to the 8-year-old girl's face. "Hey, deaf princess, where's your mommy?" The camera captured every tear rolling down Lily's cheeks as she tried to hide behind the trash can at Mickey's Burger. The other 3 boys surrounded the little girl like hyenas. "She can't even hear us making fun of her." Tyler laughed, pushing her lightly. "She's like a broken doll." Lily had just gone out to throw away the trash while her mother, Grace, finished cleaning the tables at the restaurant where she worked as a night cleaner. It was almost 10 p.m. in Riverside Falls, a small town where everyone knows everyone else, and where some people think they know everything. "Let's see if she can scream." Brandon laughed, slapping the girl on the shoulder. The cell phone continued recording while Lily tried to form desperate signals with her hands, begging them to leave her alone. "What's with the hand gestures?" Tyler mocked, grotesquely imitating her movements. "It looks like she's having a seizure." What these 4 sons of respectable families in town didn't know was that, 150 kilometers away, Jake Morrison had just finished his shift at the auto repair shop when his cell phone vibrated. The message in the veterans group said, "Has anyone seen this? This can't go unnoticed." Jake opened the video and his face instantly hardened. Those boys laughing at the girl, that humiliation being filmed for entertainment. Jake knew this kind of gratuitous cruelty all too well. But what really made the 45-year-old veteran's blood run cold was when the camera captured the child's face more clearly. Those eyes, that expression of fear mixed with resignation. Jake dropped his phone and ran to the bathroom, where he vomited violently. Lily was identical to his daughter Emma. Same age, same condition, same helplessness. Emma had died 3 years ago in an accident that Jake still blamed himself for not being able to prevent. With trembling hands, Jake typed a message in the Iron Brotherhood chat, a group of more than 80 veteran motorcyclists spread across 5 states. "Brothers, I need you. It's about a child. It's personal." Meanwhile, Brandon posted the video on TikTok with a caption, "We found a broken robot #deaf #fail #Riverside." Within 2 hours, the video had 50,000 views and hundreds of comments celebrating the joke. What those spoiled kids couldn't even imagine was that they had just filmed their own sentence. Jake Morrison wasn't just a retired army mechanic. He was the kind of man who carried unfulfilled promises and unhealed pain, waiting for just such an opportunity to channel all his guilt into something constructive. If this story of injustice against a defenseless child touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because what happened when 40 bikers found out who these bullies were will show you that there are consequences for those who choose to torture the most vulnerable. While Jake typed frantic messages to his biker brothers, Brandon Mitchell was at home posting stories on Instagram, laughing at the 150,000 views the video had already racked up. "Man, I went viral with that retard," he laughed to Tyler over FaceTime, showing him the growing numbers. "Dude, the comments are hilarious." Tyler replied, reading them aloud. Someone wrote "poor broken robot" with a skull emoji. Another said they should lock her up in a special school. What these 16 and 17-year-olds didn't know was that Grace Morrison had come home from work at 11:30 p.m. to find Lily sitting on the floor of her bedroom, rocking back and forth, a repetitive movement she made when she was extremely distressed. "What happened, sweetheart?" Grace asked in sign language, kneeling beside her daughter. But Lily just pointed to her mother's cell phone, where a notification showed that someone had tagged them in the viral video. Grace watched the video once, twice, 3 times. With each repetition, her anger grew exponentially. Seeing her daughter being humiliated, hearing those cruel laughs, witnessing the total indifference to a child's vulnerability, Grace ran to the bathroom and vomited from nervousness and outrage. "Mommy will take care of this," she promised in sign language, hugging Lily. But inside, Grace knew she was alone. A single mother, a cleaning lady, without the resources to hire a lawyer or do anything against the most powerful families in town. Brandon Mitchell was the son of the owner of the largest car dealership in the region. Tyler was the sheriff's son. The other 2 boys came from families that controlled the local bank and the main real estate agency. In Riverside Falls, these people were practically untouchable. The next morning, Grace received a call from the school. "Grace, I need to talk to you about Lily," Principal Thompson said awkwardly. "Some parents are concerned about her exposure on social media." They think it could be disruptive to the school environment. Disruptive. Grace almost shouted into the phone. My daughter was humiliated, and now you want to blame her? It's not that, Grace. It's just that, maybe it would be best for her to stay home for a few days until the situation calms down. Grace hung up the phone, shaking with rage. They were punishing the victim while protecting the bullies. Brandon and Tyler continued to attend classes as usual, being congratulated by their classmates for their epic prank. Meanwhile, 150 kilometers away, Jake Morrison hadn't slept all night. Sitting in the garage where he repaired motorcycles, he stared at the framed photo of Emma, his 8-year-old daughter who had died when a drunk driver crashed into the car she was in. Jake blamed himself because he had argued with his ex-wife on the phone seconds before the accident. If he hadn't distracted her with that stupid call about child support, if he had just held his tongue, Emma would be alive. For 3 years, Jake carried that guilt by drinking himself into oblivion every night. It was the veterans of the Iron Brotherhood who saved him, giving purpose to his pain. Now, seeing Lily being tortured just as Emma might have been, Jake found a way to channel all that unresolved guilt. His cell phone wouldn't stop vibrating. Messages were coming in from veterans in 5 different states. Iron Brotherhood Cleveland, 12 brothers confirmed Detroit riders, 8 bikers on the way Tennessee veterans MC 15 men ready Pittsburgh Steel, count me in, brother. Jake had explained the situation without mentioning names. A deaf child being humiliated by the children of powerful families, a viral video, a small town protecting the aggressors. For veterans who had lost comrades defending the vulnerable, this was a sacred cause. Tank, how many do you think you can get? Asked Diesel, his right-hand man in the Iron Brotherhood, arriving in the garage with coffee and donuts. So far, 47 confirmed. But it's not about quantity, Diesel. Jake showed him Emma's photo. It's about showing these spoiled kids that there are consequences. That not everyone will accept it silently when they torture a defenseless child. At that very moment, Brandon was at the mall with his friends, still riding the wave of viral fame. Dude, check this out. He showed his phone to a group of girls. Almost 300,000 views. I'm practically an influencer now. One of the girls frowned. Brandon, wasn't that a little cruel? She's just a kid. Oh please, Brandon rolled his eyes. The internet is full of this stuff. If she can't take a little joke, that's her problem. That's how the real world works. Tyler filmed Brandon talking and posted it on his stories, the legend himself explaining how real life works. What none of them knew was that every additional post, every extra laugh, every moment of arrogance was being carefully documented by Jake and his network of veterans scattered throughout the region. The storm they had created with that video was about to turn against them with a force that their wealthy parents and social protections could never contain. Because when you humiliate the wrong kid in front of the wrong people, sometimes the universe conspires to teach you a lesson about respect that you will never forget. While Brandon and Tyler celebrated their 400,000 views by posting memes with Lily's face, Jake Morrison sat at a pool table converted into a command center at the Iron Brotherhood headquarters in Cleveland. Maps, cell phones, laptops, and a handwritten list of 52 confirmed names were scattered across the surface. Tank, I got more info on the boys, said Rebecca Raven Foster, a former military police investigator who now worked as a private detective. She slid a folder across the table. Brandon Mitchell, 17 years old. Father is Robert Mitchell, owner of Mitchell Motors, largest dealership in the region, estimated net worth $8 million. History of buying his son out of trouble since age 12. Jake opened the folder, revealing photos from the boys' social media profiles, their families' bank statements, school records, and a detailed list of hushed-up incidents: a mentally disabled girl humiliated the previous year, a Mexican boy whose lunch was thrown in the trash, a gay classmate who was locked in the bathroom for hours. Tyler Hoffman, son of Sheriff Marcus Hoffman. This one's interesting. Raven pointed to a photo of Tyler's father. The sheriff has an internal investigation underway for excessive use of force. 3 cases of police brutality in the last year, all mysteriously shelved. What about the other 2 leeches? Asked Diesel, studying the photos. Kevin Walsh, father is president of Riverside National Bank. Jamie Santos, irony of fate, last name Santos but family owns the largest real estate company in town, specializing in gentrification of poor neighborhoods. Raven crossed her arms. These kids are literally untouchable in Riverside Falls. The whole town runs according to the will of these 4 families. Jake studied each photo with military intensity. They don't know who they're messing with. They think Lily is just a vulnerable child with no protection. They're about to find out she has 50 veteran uncles willing to show them what it means to protect family. At that moment, Jake received a message that made his eyes flash dangerously. Guys, change of plans. There won't just be 52 of us. He showed his cell phone to the group. See this message from the Detroit Marines? They're bringing 15. The Patriot Riders from Pennsylvania have confirmed 20 more. Hell's Angels from Chicago. 8 confirmed. Diesel whistled softly. Tank, that means. It means we're going to show up in Riverside Falls with almost 100 veteran bikers. A show of force that little town has never seen in its life. Jake stood up, walking over to a board on the wall with photos of veterans killed in combat. In the center was a photo of his daughter Emma. But it's not about intimidation. It's about showing a child that she's not alone. And showing 4 privileged families that there are consequences for those who torture the defenseless. Meanwhile, in Riverside Falls, Lily's situation was getting worse exponentially. Grace came home from work to find her daughter hiding under the bed, clutching a note that one of her classmates had given her during recess. Your retarded daughter is famous. How embarrassing, right? Better move out of town before she becomes a national joke. Lily, sweetheart, look at mommy, Grace said in sign language, kneeling beside the bed. We'll get through this, I promise. But inside, Grace was desperate. She had received 3 calls that day, one from her supervisor at work saying that it might be best for her to take a few days off until the situation normalized, another from the apartment owner concerned about the negative exposure for the building, and a third from an unknown number with a male voice saying horrible things about her daughter that she preferred to forget. Brandon, meanwhile, had discovered Lily's address through the comments on the video and decided to pay her a visit to get more content. Tyler filmed while he posted on his stories. Guys, I found out where the deaf robot girl lives. How about we surprise her? Within minutes, hundreds of comments were encouraging him, go for it. Film more. Make her cry again. What Brandon didn't know was that Rebecca Raven Foster had discreetly hacked the 4 boys' cell phones the moment they posted that story. Every message, every location, every malicious plan was being monitored and documented in real time. Tank, you need to see this now. Raven showed him the laptop screen. The sheriff's son just posted Grace's address on Instagram. They're planning to go to her house tonight to film more content. Jake felt murderous rage rise up his spine. How many veterans do we have in the area who can get there today? Detroit is 2 hours away. Cleveland, 3 hours. Pittsburgh, Diesel checked his cell phone. Tank, I can get 12 men to Riverside Falls by 8 p.m. Make it happen. Now. Jake typed furiously in the veterans group chat, code red. Child in imminent danger. Everyone who can get to Riverside Falls today, leave immediately. This is no longer about justice, it's about protection. At 6:30 p.m., Brandon, Tyler, and the other 2 were climbing into Brandon's father's truck, equipped with charged cell phones and the typical arrogance of those who have never faced real consequences in life. Guys, let's sneak up on them and film their reaction. It's going to be epic. Brandon laughed, driving toward the address he had posted publicly. What they didn't know was that, 30 miles away, 12 motorcycles were cutting through the night toward Riverside Falls. Jake Morrison had made a call to an old friend, Captain Thomas Thunder Richardson, now working for the State Police Department. Tom, I need a favor. Not as a veteran, but as a father. Jake quickly explained the situation. These kids have crossed a line. They're going after an 8-year-old at home. Jake, are you sure about this? I have screenshots, recordings, real-time location. They just doxed a deaf child online, and now they're going to do what? More bullying for views? Tom, if it were your daughter. There was a pause. I understand. Jake, officially, I can't do anything without formal evidence. But if I'm patrolling that area tonight and see something suspicious. It was exactly the opening Jake needed. While Brandon and his gang drove confidently toward Grace's house, completely oblivious to the danger, a coordinated operation between veterans and state authorities was forming around them like an invisible web. For a moment, when Brandon posted that address thinking he was just getting more viral content, He laughed, imagining the scared look on the deaf girl's face when door. What his spoiled brain couldn't process was that he had just made the fatal mistake that would turn his life of privilege into a permanent nightmare. Because when you threaten the wrong kid, sometimes the universe conspires with war veterans who know the true meaning of the word protection. And those men were about to arrive. At 8:15 p.m., Brandon parked the truck 2 blocks from Grace's house, laughing as Tyler tested the settings on his cell phone camera. Guys, live in 3, 2, 1. Hey, everyone. We're here at the famous deaf girl's house. Let's give her a naughty scare. Man, imagine her face when we ring the doorbell and she can't hear it. Kevin laughed, adjusting the light on his cell phone to film better. It's going to be epic. What they didn't know was that, strategically hidden at 3 different points on the street, Jake Morrison and 11 veterans were watching their every move through military binoculars. Rebecca Raven Foster coordinated the car operation, monitoring police communications and recording every word that came out of the boys' mouths. Tank, they just got out of the car, Raven whispered over the radio. Live broadcast active. 847 viewers watching in real time. Perfect. Thunder confirm position. Jake checked the tactical equipment strapped to his chest. Captain Richardson is 2 blocks away. 3 more state patrol cars on standby. Diesel adjusted his position, keeping the boys in the camera's sights. Tank, they're really doing this. Going to a kid's door at 8 p.m. to produce bullying content. Brandon walked confidently toward Grace's modest home, holding his cell phone as if he were the director of a blockbuster movie. Chat room, are you ready? Let's wake up the little deaf princess. I bet her mom is going to be desperate. Tyler filmed Brandon ringing the doorbell insistently. Look, she probably can't even hear it. We'll have to knock on the door. He began pounding on the wood with force, making a noise that would wake up half the block. Inside the house, Grace hugged Lily on the couch, both terrified by the aggressive noise. Grace grabbed her phone to call the police when she saw that Brandon's live stream had automatically appeared on her feed. 1,200 people watching this invasion in real time. Guys, her mom must be pretending she's not home. Brandon laughed into the camera. But we know you're in there. We'll wait for you to come out. It was at that very moment that 12 motorcycles cut through the night with the coordinated roar of their engines. The headlights illuminated the street like stadium floodlights, turning the night into a war zone. Jake Morrison dismounted first, followed by the 11 veterans in perfect military formation. They all wore Iron Brotherhood patches on their vests, visible war medals, a presence that radiated authority and controlled danger. Look who showed up. Brandon tried to keep up the bravado, turning the camera to the bikers. Guys, the old guys on motorcycles are here to protect the little deaf girl. How cute. Tyler laughed nervously. Dude, I think they're just some old guys trying to play the heroes. Relax. Jake walked slowly toward Brandon, his physical presence intimidating without a single word. The ensuing silence was broken only by the sound of military boots on the asphalt and the nervous breathing of the boys. Brandon Mitchell, Jake said calmly, stopping half a meter away from the boy. Son of Robert Mitchell, owner of Mitchell Motors. Student at Riverside High School. 17 years old. Lives at 247 Maple Street. Each word came out as precise as a sniper's bullet. Brandon's blood ran cold. How do you know? Tyler Hoffman. Son of Sheriff Marcus Hoffman. 16 years old. Jake turned to Tyler, who had instantly stopped filming. Kevin Walsh. Jamie Santos. Banking and real estate. Powerful families. Jake smiled coldly. You think you messed with a helpless child. You're wrong. Rebecca got out of the car with a laptop, connecting it to a Bluetooth speaker. Guys, let's hear some interesting things you said today. Brandon's voice echoed down the entire street. Man, I went viral with that retard. Followed by Tyler's laughter. The comments are hilarious. Someone wrote, poor broken robot. Neighbors began to come out of their houses, drawn by the sound. Cell phones recording. Brandon's live stream, which he had forgotten to turn off, now showed his own humiliation to 2,000 shocked viewers. No. Brandon tried to turn off his phone, but his hands were shaking uncontrollably. That wasn't in the recording. How did you guys? Your phone was hacked 3 hours ago, son. Rebecca smiled. Every message, every location, every plan to torture that family. All documented and automatically sent to the FBI, state police, and national media. At that moment, sirens cut through the night. 3 state police cars surrounded the area, commanded by Captain Thunder Richardson. Jake waved discreetly. Everything was going according to plan. Brandon Mitchell, Tyler Hoffman, you are under arrest for cyberbullying, stalking, trespassing, and threatening a minor. Thunder showed them the warrants. Kevin Walsh and Jamie Santos, you are minors, but your parents have already been notified. The state prosecutor wants to talk to you. My dad is going to destroy you. Tyler shouted desperately. You don't know who you're messing with. Jake approached dangerously. Your father is Marcus Hoffman, a police chief under investigation for police brutality. 3 cases mysteriously closed. Jake showed a folder. Coincidentally, the FBI has just reopened all investigations. It seems that someone leaked compromising evidence about corruption in the department. Panic took hold of the 4 boys. Brandon looked around desperately, realizing that neighbors were recording everything, that his live stream was still active, that his privileged life was falling apart in real time. You can't do this to us. We're minors. Our families, Kevin tried to argue. Your families. Diesel approached, showing another document. Robert Mitchell lost his contract with General Motors this morning. It seems that videos of children torturing disabled children don't fit with the corporate image. Diesel smiled sarcastically. Kevin, your father's bank has just been investigated for discriminatory practices. What a coincidence, isn't it? Rebecca checked her laptop. Jake, the national press has arrived. CNN, Fox, NBC. Everyone wants the story of the privileged kids who tortured a deaf child. By this point, Brandon was crying openly, Tyler had vomited from nervousness, and Kevin and Jamie were hugging each other desperately. The reversal was complete. Now they were the vulnerable ones being filmed while they suffered. Jake knelt down to Brandon's height, speaking softly but firmly. Son, you filmed an 8-year-old child crying to get likes. You posted her address online. You came here at 8 p.m. to terrorize her further. This isn't a joke. This is calculated cruelty. Please, Brandon sobbed. We can pay. My dad has money. Your money won't save anyone now. You messed with the daughter of a war hero. You messed with a child who has a family of 80 veterans spread across 5 states. Jake stood up. Starting today, you're going to find out what it's like to live being judged by the color of your skin, your condition, your origin. You're going to find out what it's like to have no protection when the whole world sees who you really are. Thunder finished the arrests as ambulance sirens approached. Tyler had fainted from shock. Brandon's livestream, still active, showed his total collapse to 5,000 viewers who watched justice being served in real time. Jake looked over at Grace's house, where she and Lily were watching from the window. He waved gently, signaling that they were safe now. Lily waved back, smiling for the first time in days. This is how you protect a family, Jake murmured to his veteran brothers. This is how you teach respect. As the police cars drove away with the 4 broken boys, Jake knew that the real storm was just beginning, because when you humiliate a child in front of veterans who have lost brothers defending the defenseless, the consequences go far beyond a simple night in jail. 6 months later, Brandon Mitchell sat alone in the cafeteria of the community school he had been transferred to after being expelled from Riverside High. His table remained empty as he ate a cheap sandwich, watching other students avoid him like the bubonic plague. Mitchell Motors had gone completely bankrupt after all corporate contracts were cancelled. The video of Brandon torturing Lily became a case study at universities on cyberbullying and corporate responsibility. Robert Mitchell now worked as a salesman at a used car dealership 3 towns away. Son, did you get any responses from universities? Robert asked in a tense phone call. Stanford, Harvard, Yale. They all rejected you. They say you represent a reputational risk. We'll have to try community colleges. Brandon hung up without answering. At 18, he had discovered the real weight of consequences, something his parents' money had never allowed him to experience. Tyler Hoffman was even worse off. His father had been fired from the police force after a federal investigation revealed years of corruption. Recordings of Tyler celebrating Lily's torture were used as evidence of a toxic family environment in the trial. Now Marcus Hoffman worked as a night security guard at a supermarket, while Tyler repeated the school year after months of mandatory therapy. Kevin and Jamie simply disappeared from Riverside Falls. Their families sold everything and moved to other states, trying to escape the mark of shame they would carry forever. Meanwhile, Grace Morrison, she had officially changed her last name to honor Jake, was beaming during Lily's graduation from the special program for gifted children. At age 9, Lily was fluent in 3 sign languages and had been accepted into the talent program at State University. Lily is going to study art and technology, Grace explained to Jake, who proudly accompanied her to the ceremony. She wants to create apps that connect deaf children around the world. Jake had fulfilled his promise in a way he never thought possible. Not only did he protect Lily from those bullies, he became the father she never had. Every Saturday, he took her on rides on his adapted motorcycle, where she smiled with a freedom Brandon would never know again. "Uncle Jake," Lily signaled during the celebratory lunch, "thank you for showing me that being different is my superpower." Jake smiled, remembering his daughter Emma's words years ago, "Daddy, when I grow up, I want to help children who can't hear like me." Through Lily, Emma lived on forever. The Iron Brotherhood had created an educational fund in Emma Morrison's name that had already benefited 200 children with disabilities in 5 states. Grace had graduated with a degree in psychology and now worked as a counselor specializing in childhood trauma, using her experience to help other families. "You know what's ironic?" Jake reflected during a veterans reunion. Brandon wanted views by filming a vulnerable child. In the end, he was the one who went viral for all the wrong reasons. Lily became a symbol of resilience, while he became an example of what never to do. Rebecca Raven Foster showed the latest statistics. The original video has been completely removed from the internet. But the stories about Lily, the girl who turned bullying into strength, already have 20 million positive views. Diesel laughed bitterly. Brandon wanted fame at the expense of an innocent child. Now he has to live with the knowledge that he destroyed his own family for 15 minutes of cruel attention. The last time Jake saw Brandon, the boy was working in a snack bar, head down, avoiding eye contact with customers. His arrogance had been replaced by a defeated shyness, the natural result of discovering that the world doesn't revolve around privilege when you cross certain moral lines. "Uncle Jake," Lily asked during one of their nightly conversations, "do you think Brandon learned his lesson?" Jake considered carefully. "Honey, some people only learn when they lose everything. Brandon has discovered that there are consequences that money can't buy and connections can't erase. His family has paid the price for years of impunity." Lily nodded, wise beyond her 9 years. "He helped me find my real family. The Biker brothers, you, a stronger mom. If he hadn't done that, we might never have discovered how much love there is in the world." It was the absolute truth. Brandon's cruelty had revealed a network of protection and love that Grace and Lily never knew they had. 80 veterans across 5 states now considered Lily their official niece. Jake hugged the girl, thinking about how strange life is. Brandon Mitchell had filmed a child crying, thinking he would achieve viral fame. In the end, he only achieved eternal viral hate, while that same child became an international symbol of resilience and strength. True justice was not to destroy Brandon. It was to show Lily that she was never alone. That there are angels in the form of veteran motorcyclists, willing to cross 5 states to protect an innocent child. If this story touched your heart and made you believe that there is always someone willing to fight for the vulnerable, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because in an age where viral cruelty seems to be the norm, stories like this remind us that kindness always finds a way to win.